Hello guys, I am Vaishali Kikan from Vaishali's e-learning and we are discussing physics. Now we are moving on to the next chapter, that is music, musical instruments and acoustics. We are going to discuss in detail about this chapter, and at the end of this video we are going to talk about some sample problems or numericals based upon this chapter. So let's start our discussion with the first topic of the day, that is oscilloscope. Oscilloscope, what it is? It's a device with the help of this we can actually see the sound. Generally we are hearing the sound. Now you are confused how to see the sounds. So oscilloscope is a device which will convert the rarefaction or compressions in the longitudinal wave of sound into the form of a wave which is visible on the screen of the oscilloscope. So it measures the level of compression as well as rarefaction, and according to that level it is generating a waveform on its screen. So oscilloscope, you can see in the figure, it's a device that is used to see the sound. Coming to the music. What is music? It is originated from a source, but now here we have a condition. It's a sound which is originated from a source where the condition is that we have one or more than one constant frequency. Right, one constant frequency would be there or more than one constant frequency would be there. Now coming to the noise. Noise is a sound that is originating from a source which is having random frequency, not at all a single constant frequency is present, then we are calling this sound as a noise. You can see the figure. Here we have the sound which is coming from the tuning fork. The part A shows the sound which is coming from the tuning fork when it is observed on the oscilloscope. Then the random noise, you can see we have the variation from the tuning fork to the random noise. How random noise is having completely random frequency and how the tuning fork is having the periodic frequency. Right, so this is a periodic wave coming out from the tuning fork. Now coming to the O sound. In the O sound, what kind of waveform we can observe on the oscilloscope? You can see. Then from the E sound, what kind of waveform we have on the oscilloscope, and at last with the O sound, what kind of waveform is generated on the oscilloscope. Now you can see the next figure where the oscilloscope traces the pitch and the wavelength. So you can see how the pitch and the wavelength vary for a low frequency, low pitch, long wavelength wave, and for the second part, the part B shows high frequency, high pitch, short wavelength wave. Now coming to the next concept, that is pure tone. Pure tone is a sound which is consisting of only one frequency. If I have a sound which is made only using one frequency, then it is called as a pure tone. Now coming to the next topic, that is the consonance. Consonance is the combination of the sound of specific frequency that are pleasing to the ear, right? So if you hear some sound which are composed of some frequencies and this sound is pleasing to your ear, so this is called as a consonance, right? These are frequency which are often in a simple ratio. In consonance, frequencies are often in the simple ratio. Now coming to the dissonance. Dissonance is the combination of the sound of specific frequency that have a harsh effect. If some sound is very harsh to listen, it is a combination of frequency and it is harsh to listen, which composed of frequency that are not in the simple ratio, so it is called as a dissonance. Coming to the octave. Octave is a sound that differ in frequency by a factor of 2. So if I have one frequency and another frequency twice of this frequency, so these two are called as the octave. Right, coming to the pitch, loudness, quality of sound. These are all of the characteristics of the sound, right? We have the various characteristics like pitch, loudness as well as quality of sound. These are very subjective. Why? Because it is dependent upon the perception of the listener. These characteristics are subjective characteristics. Loudness could be different for me as well as you. Pitch could be different for me as well as you, right? And the quality of sound also varies. Now coming to the musician scale. What is a musician scale? The musician scale was standardized in 1953 and it allows the musicians the freedom to change from one key to another within one piece of music, or to play variable frequency instrument along with the fixed frequency instrument. If the musician want to play a variable frequency instrument with a fixed frequency instrument, he can use the scale which is called as a musician scale, right? So if he want to change one key to the another within the piece of music also, he can use this scale. So the two most commonly used scientific music scale are the musical scale, which is 256 Hz, and the musician scale, which is at 440 Hz. Coming to the relationship between frequency and length, tension, diameter and the density of a string. So now the string's frequency will depend upon a lot of parameters like its length, tension, diameter and density. The frequency of a string is inversely proportional to the length, so I can represent F2 upon F1 as L1 upon L2 or F proportional to 1 upon L. The frequency of a string is directly proportional to the square root of the tension force. So frequency is proportional to under root of T, where T represents the tension force. So I can represent F1 upon F2 as under root T1 upon under root T2, right? Now the frequency of a string is inversely proportional to the diameter of the string. So F1 upon F2 can be represented as D2 upon D1. Now you can see the frequency of the string is inversely proportional to the square root of the density of the string. So F1 upon F2 will be equal to under root D2 upon under root D1. Now coming to the fundamental mode. Fundamental mode is the simplest mode of the vibration which is producing the lowest frequency. The lowest frequency, when it is produced by some vibration, this vibration is called as the fundamental mode. You can see in the figure here we have the vibration which is causing the lowest frequency. Now fundamental frequency is the frequency corresponding to this lowest frequency. So it is the lowest natural frequency, I can say. Coming to the next concept, which is the overtone. What is the overtone? It is the resulting modes of vibration when string vibrate in more than one segment emitting more than one frequency. When the string is vibrating in more than one segment and we are getting more than one frequency from it, we are calling it as overtone. Now coming to the harmonics. Harmonics are the whole number multiple of the fundamental frequency. Like if I multiply, fundamental frequency was represented as F0. If I multiply F0 with 2, I will get the harmonic 2F0, right? Then I will get the 3F0 if I multiply it with 3. This is my second harmonic, this is my third harmonic, 2F0 and 3F0. Now coming to the quality of musical note. The quality of a musical note is a property that will depend upon the number as well as relative intensity of harmonics that make up the sound. Right, so it is a property, the quality of a musical note is a property that depend upon the number and the relative intensity of harmonics. How many harmonics are there? What is the intensity of a given harmonic that is making the sound? So if I have more of fundamental frequency, I have a first harmonic most, then second harmonic is also there, third is also there, but second and third are in lesser quantity. So I will be having different quantity, different quality of the sound. If I am not having the fundamental frequency, if I am just having second and third harmonic, then I will be having the different quality of sound. You can see the figure here, we have the string vibrating in the overtones. You can see the part A where we have the fundamental mode, second represents the first overtone which is called the second harmonic. Third represents the second overtone which represents the third harmonic. Right, so you can see the next figure over here, we have the oscilloscope tracing of violin, clarinet, tuning fork and the organ pipe. So how the oscilloscope readings would be different. The waveform on the oscilloscope would be different for different instruments. Coming to the resonance in the air column. What is the resonance in the air column? First of all, let's understand what is a closed air column. Closed air column is a column that is closed at one end and open at the another end. So if I have a column which is closed at one end but open at the another end, so that is my closed air column. So now here end of the column will reflect the sound wave. So this is the type of column that we have. If the sound wave is going over here, the end will reflect the sound wave, right? So now the end of the closed air column will reflect the sound wave, and the resonance are produced with respect to the lambda, the wavelength of the sound wave. The first resonance will be produced when the length of the column is equal to 1/4 lambda. The second resonance will be produced at 3/4 lambda. You can see in the figure. The third resonance at 5/4 lambda. You can see all of the type of resonance, the first resonance, second resonance, and the third resonance in the figure. Now we have a open air column. So open air column will be a column like this. So here we can have the length to be anything for this column, right? So when the length is half lambda, that time we will be having first resonance. When the length is lambda, you can see in the figure also, we have the second resonance. At length is equal to 3/2 lambda, we have third resonance, and length is equal to 2 lambda, we have the fourth resonance. You can see in the figure. Coming to the musical instruments. Now we have the different classifications of the musical instruments. First type of classification is the string instruments. Like we have the violin, guitar, piano, etc. These are all the instruments which are called as the strings instrument, and inside them they have a string and a resonator box. Now what is a resonator? String we all know. In the violin you must have seen the strings, in the guitar you must have seen the string, in the piano also, inside the piano we have a box where we have a string. Right? What is a resonator? Resonator is an object, usually it's a hollow chamber that vibrates in resonance with the source of the sound. So this hollow chamber will vibrate with the resonance when the sound is produced. With the same frequency it is going to resonate, right? Now coming to the next figure. The figure shows the changing quality of a sound of a vibrating string. At the first harmonic in the part A it is shown. Now the part B shows the second harmonic when it is superimposed on the first harmonic, and this part C shows the third harmonic superimposed on the first harmonic. So in all of the three cases the quality of the sound will vary. In the part A only first harmonic is there, we have the different quality. In the part B we have second harmonic superimposed on first harmonic, different quality. In the part C third harmonic superimposed on the first harmonic, different quality. You can see in the figure also. I hope you can see the difference among all. Now moving to the next part about the musical instrument. The next type of musical instrument are the wind instruments, right? You must have seen some of the wind instruments, like you have seen the flute, right? So here we have the columns of vibrating air molecules, right? So the column of vibrating air molecules are present, and here we will be having the fundamental frequency which is dependent upon the instrument which is used is either open or closed. If the instrument is open or closed, depending upon which we will be having different fundamental frequencies, right? So if I have the large instrument, it is giving me low frequency sound. If I have a small instrument, it is giving me high frequency sound, right? The initial vibration which is created by a reed or by the player's lips, right? Then the vibration may generate inside this instrument, right? So now coming to the next type of instrument, which is the percussion instrument. So percussion instrument are the instrument where we are striking one object against the another. You must have seen drums, right? This is also kind of percussion instrument. These are easy to make, and these were the most ancient type of instruments. So now we have the three types of or three categories of the percussion instrument. First is single indefinite pitch. Second is multiple definite pitch. Third is variable pitch instrument. So the first type of instrument is a single indefinite pitch instrument. Second is a multiple definite pitch instrument. Third is variable pitch instrument. Coming to the human voice as a musical instrument. Human voice is the oldest and the most versatile instrument, right? We can produce many kind of sound with our voice, right? So now human voice is now divided into three parts. We are having three parts in our body. With the help of these three parts, we are generating our voice. First part is the lungs, which is the source of the air. Second part is the vocal cord, which is the vibrator or the source of the vibration. First is the source of air, second is the source of vibration. Vibration is generated with the help of vocal folds, or we called it as a vocal cord. Third is the resonator. Resonator will be the lower throat region, which is consisting of pharynx, mouth and the nasal cavity, right? So the air first passed from the lungs to the vocal cord, and the vocal cord in this manner it vibrates using the air from the lungs. So air passes from the lungs to vocal cord and it vibrates. Now in the vocal cord we have two bands of skin, thus it is the double reed structure, right? Vocal cord is composed of two bands of the skin and it is a double reed structure. Now the loudness is controlled by the air which is forced over the vocal cord. How much air we are forcing from the lung to the vocal cord, it determines the loudness of the sound. Coming to the pitch. How pitch is controlled? By the muscular tension and the size of the vibrating part, right? If the vibrating part is having different size, we will be getting different pitch. It is also controlled by the muscular tension, right? What muscular tension we have around the vocal cord. Now the quality of sound. Quality of the sound is dependent upon the resonating cavity. The resonating cavity like pharynx, mouth, nasal cavity, also the quality of sound will depend upon your tongue as well as lips. Now the people who want to join the musical industry, they are improving their quality of the sound with the help of training. So they are doing vibrato and tremoto. So now in the vibrato we have slight periodic change of frequency, which is like the frequency modulation, right? So then we have the tremotos where we have slight periodic change of amplitude, like we have the amplitude modulation. Right, so now we have the next kind of instrument, which are the electrical instrument, and we have the audio reproduction into it. What are electrical instruments? The electrical instruments are having a microphone and a loudspeaker, right? It will be having an instrument. In addition to that, it will be having a microphone as well as a loudspeaker. So the instrument will produce the sound, like you have a guitar. Then you have an electric guitar. The guitar will produce the sound. Electric guitar will be having a microphone as well as a loudspeaker. So the guitar, traditional guitar, will produce a sound. The microphone will convert this sound into the electrical energy, and the electrical energy is amplified with the help of electrical network over here, and then we are producing vibration in the loudspeaker. So loudspeaker is going to give me the amplified sound. So we have the addition of microphone and the loudspeaker to the instrument when we have the electrical instrument. This loudspeaker will improve the sound quality from the electrical instruments. You can see the figure here. We have the digital sound reproduction. So you can see the input and the reconstructed waveform. The input waveform is very continuous and the reconstructed waveform is now not continuous, due to which when we reproduce the digital sound, it is not exactly same like the input sound, right? But we can make it similar to the input sound by making it more efficient, right? By increasing the quality of the analog to digital converter, right? So now coming to the figure where you can see we have the digital sound reproduction. Here in the figure you can see the input and the reconstructed waveform. Coming to the digital sound recording. Digital sound recording is the method of storing sound as a series of binary number, not as a waves. So when I convert this longitudinal wave, I have a longitudinal wave in the form of compression and rarefactions, and now I am going to convert it into some number. Right, based upon their loudness and all, I am going to convert this waveform into a number. Now this number we can save in the computers. So now this is called the digital sound recording. Here it's a method of storing sound as a series of binary number. Binary number means 1 and 0 only. So we are converting sound in the form of binary number 1 and 0, and now the sound is not a wave anymore. Now the same method of digital sound recording is used in CDs, where the data is stored as a microscopic bits in a spiral over, we have a 4.8 kilometer long spiral over the CD, where we can store the data in the bits, in the microscopic bits, and this spiral is beginning at the center of the disc. Now coming to the electronic musical instrument. You can see the electronic musical instrument. You must have seen some small piano, the electronic piano. Kids are using it, right? So you can see in the figure we have the portable electronic synthesizer as well. So synthesizer is also there, violin is also there, small electronic. So we have, and small guitar, electronic guitars are also there. So we have some electronic musical instruments. Here vibrations are produced, because we have to produce vibration for the production of sound. The vibration are produced using the electronic component like the resistor as well as transistor. If I use resistor or transistor to produce the sound, then it is called as an electronic instrument. Here we have 4 parts. First part is the oscillator, which is producing the vibration. Then we have the filter circuit. Filter circuit will select some frequencies. It will reject other frequency based upon our requirement. Right. After that we have a mixing circuit. Mixing circuit will add various frequencies to produce the final signal. I want some frequencies to be mixed so that I can produce the final signal. At last I have the amplifier and speaker. Amplifier will amplify this mixed signal, and the speaker will give me sound, which is the last loud sound, right? So amplify will increase the amplitude and speaker will convert this electrical or electronic signal into the sound vibrations. Again, you can see the figure here. We have the basic waves which we use to form the complex waves. So in the mixer, these basic waves can go like sinusoidal wave, sawtooth wave, square wave or triangular wave. These waves can intermix with each other and they can produce music. Now coming to the attack control and decay control. You can see the figure here. We have the part A where we have the attack control. What is attack control now? When the sound is first heard, we have the sudden, delayed and the overshoot. So this you can see in the figure part A. Decay control, when the sound comes to an end, that time we have the decay control. We have the slow, fast and the irregular sound waves, right? Coming to the acoustics. Acoustic is the total effect of the sound produced in an enclosed space. If I have an enclosed space, like I have this room, this studio, and here the total effect of the sound that is produced. I have mic, I have some sound absorbers over here. So the total sound effect that is produced in this room is the acoustic. The total effect of sound produced in the enclosed space is acoustic. Coming to the reverberation time. Reverberation time is the time required for intensity of sound to drop to 10 raised to power minus 6 of its original value of or until the sound becomes inaudible. When the sound is having some amplitude or some intensity, now it is decreasing to 10 raised to power minus 6 times of its original value, which means it is almost inaudible. So the time required from a significant level to an inaudible level, 10 raised to power minus 6 times of the initial level, that time is the reverberation time. I hope you understood all of the things, and I hope you are going to practice the numerical questions now easily. So let's start our discussion for the question number 1, which states the D string of violin is 30 centimeter long and it has a natural frequency of 288 Hz. Where must a violinist place his or her finger on the string so as to produce at a B note, right? So he has to produce a B note, and we all know the relation between the frequency and the length of the string. It is inversely proportional. So I can represent this relation as F2 upon F1 is equal to L1 upon L2. So this is L1 upon L2, right? Right, so now we have to find out L2, right? So L1 is given, F1 is given and F2 is given. So let's place all of the values that we have. So F2 is 384 Hz, F1 is 288 Hz, right? And L1 is 30 centimeter and L2 we have to find out. So now we can do the calculation, and L2 will be equal to 30 into 288 upon 384, right? So now it will be equal to 22.5 centimeter. Right, so this is how simply you can find out the place where he has to place his finger. Now coming to the next problem, it states a piano string with a pitch of a 440 hertz is under tension of 1.4 into 10 raised to power 2 Newton. What tension would be required to produce a high C which is at 523 hertz? Now we want to find out the tension, which is the forces, right? So frequency F1 is given, F2 is given, and the first tension is given, that is capital F1. We have to find out capital F2. So we know the relation between the F2 and the tension. So F2 is directly proportional to under root of tension, right? So F2 upon F1 can be placed as under root F2 upon under root F1. So now we know what is F2, we know what is F1. So 523 upon 444 will be equal to under root F2 upon under root 1.4 into 10 raised to power 2 Newton, right? So now what you need to do, you just need to simplify it. So F2 will be equal to 523 upon 444 into under root 1.4 into 10 raised to power 2 square, right? So it will be 523 square upon 444 square into 1.4 into 10 raised to power 2. So when you compute it, it will be coming out to be equal to 2 into 10 raised to power 2 Newton. So now coming to the next problem, which states a vibrating tuning fork is held near the mouth of a column filled with water. So when the column is filled with water, it's closed at one end. Now the water level is lowered and the first loud sound is heard when the air column is at 9 centimeter long. Calculate the wavelength of the sound from the tuning fork. So now we know the formula for first resonance. The first resonance occurs at lambda by 4, which is given as 9 centimeter. So now from here we can calculate the lambda, which is equal to 9 into 4, which is equal to 36 centimeter. Now the second thing that we have to find out is the length of the air column for second resonance. Now because the water is lowered, there would be increase in the column, so it will be equal to 18 centimeter, and we will be having the second resonance at lambda by 2, right? So now the total length will be equal to 9 centimeter plus 18 centimeter, which is equal to 27 centimeter, right? So coming to the next problem, which states the first resonant length of the closed air column occurs when the length is 16 centimeters. So first resonance lambda by 4 occurs at 16. So what is the wavelength of the sound, which we can easily find out? So it will be equal to lambda is equal to 4 into 16, which is equal to 64 centimeter, which can be represented as 0.64 meter, right? So now the second thing is, if frequency of sound is 512 hertz, what is the speed of sound? Right, so frequency is given and we need to find out the speed. So we know lambda we have already find out, frequency is given. Now we know the universal wave equation, V is equal to F into lambda. Now we just need to put F and lambda. So what is the frequency? 512 hertz, and what is the wavelength? It is 0.64 meter. So when you multiply these two, you are going to get 3.3 into 10 raised to power 2 meter per second. That is the speed of sound, right? Now coming to the next question, it states an organ pipe 3.6 meter long and open at both ends produce a musical note at fundamental frequency. What is the wavelength of the note produced? What is the frequency of the pipe if the speed of sound in air is 346 meter per second? So first we will be finding out the wavelength with the help of resonant length, because the organ pipe here is open at both ends. At this case, the first resonance occur with lambda by 2. So lambda by 2 is equal to 3.6, from where I can calculate lambda is equal to 2 into 3.6 is equal to 7.2 meter. This is my wavelength. Now what is the frequency of the pipe if the speed of sound in air is 346 meter per second? Now we know speed of sound, which is 346 meter per second. Lambda we have already calculated. Now we have to calculate the frequency, right? So 346 will be equal to frequency into 7.2, right? So frequency will be equal to 346 upon 7.2, which will be equal to 48 hertz, So I hope you understood all of the things related to this chapter, the theory, the numerical parts, and I hope you are going to meet me soon in the next class. Don't forget to download our mobile app, and also please visit us on our different platforms like Instagram as well as LinkedIn. And if you have still not subscribed our channel and liked this video, please do it as soon as possible. Thank you so much.